the thing that Zen has going for it too, it has the nostalgia factor with it.
Yeah.
You know, having been a, you know, going, it didn't make it to animation, but it almost did. But it has a lot of merch too.
Oh
It's,
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's like action figures, there's video games, there's, you know, you name it. You guys must have had like lunch boxes and all that stuff. You know?
Halloween masks,
Yeah,
final model
exactly.
kits,
Yeah.
prepaid phone cards,
Like the whole schmear.
Wow.
notebooks.
And I think that's one of the things, though, right? Is Zen's one of those characters that, even if you don't read comics and you're not familiar, you could see him and go, "Oh, that's familiar. That's a comic book character." You know, like people kind of have that familiarity to it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another story. You said I warned you that
No, it's fine. Please, we're ready for it. We're here for it.
Okay, so we do the licensing deal for the toys, the Just Toys company with the 6 action figures.
Yeah.
And then later we could talk about the Konami, the 2 video games. But let's just talk about the toys for a minute. So the presumption was we were going to have an animated show by Ruby Spears, and so the Just Toys company gets on board. They make the toys, right? At some juncture, while the toys are being manufactured, we learn that Ruby Spears is out of business. And you see, you needed what they call the foundation media of like a animated show to push the sales of the toys.
Toys,
right?
yeah.
And they also say, "Oh man, we're up the creek here. We got toys coming out and no quote unquote foundation media." Okay, so nonetheless, the Zen toys go into, remember Toys R Us and KB Toys?
Yep. Yeah.
This is, the late great toy retailers, right?
Yeah.
So here's what happens. So there's 2 little rows of Zen toys in the big long row at Toys R Us, right? And on the left of it is all these rows and rows of Batman. And on the right of it are all these rows and rows of the Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's like 2 little rows of Zen toys, right? And now I'm really nervous, right? So I go to the Toys R Us store near where I lived on Long Island at the time, and I talked to the manager. The store said, "Do you mind if I stand at the end of the row and watch what's going to happen here?" Because I didn't want to, there's this weird guy hanging out where kids are and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, "Okay, yeah, fine. I know who you are and all this stuff." So I start watching. I stayed there for hours, right? I start watching. Now, parents, were with the kids. It wasn't just like the 6-year-old kid by himself in the store, right? So the parent, the mother or the father, and the little kids would just be walking down the aisle there, right? And here's what would happen. They'd look at the toy. They'd see Batman. They'd see the Turtles. And then they'd lock their eyes on Zen. I can tell you right now, it's because he was this blue dude. Okay. And the kids, because the parents didn't know what the hell was going on, the kids would pull the parents over to the Zen toys. And there was something else that I came up with, an idea that the toy company went with. You may recall on the back of each toy of the packaging was a special Archie comic of Zen. Okay, collectible comic. So between Zen's blue nature and the comic book that they saw on the back, Zen sold out.
That's amazing.
No animation, no nothing other than the comic book. So again, these are the things that you can't plan them. You don't know what's going to happen, but that's what happened. That's why those toys sold out. There's some of them on eBay now.
That's great.
But that's a great twofer, though. Even as a kid, you'd want to go for the toy that also comes with a comic book.
Yeah, like
You know-
He-Man did. Like He-Man did back in the
Yeah,
day.
or even McFarlane's original line of toys had.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think Zen has such a unique look. Like the
it
design
does.
is perfect. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
to attract a kid, you know, like 'cause
Yeah.
I know it always, like whenever I saw the design, I always thought it was a cool looking
Yep.
character.
And,
you
uh,
know? One thing I was going to ask you, Steve, but like when Ruby Spears worked on the animated series, did they ever create like any of the animation at all? Like, did you ever see any like black and white animation?
I never saw anything. No.
I would love to see those character sketches
know,
and their,
right?
all their, like, you know, the stuff that they work on before they go into production. I would love to see that stuff.
I
The
know,
character
right?
sheets and all that.
There was
stuff.
another company that tried to step in when the news came out that they were out of business, and we met with them. And then, before anything could happen, DreamWorks bought them up, and then
Yeah, forget about it.
You just, but I mean, all of these experiences are amazing, and you just don't know where things are going to end up.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hate like hearing it was so close to happening. That would have been so great to see,
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but
That
I
would have
still
been
go
great.
with the idea that there's still the field for Zen movies and animation and shows is completely open now, and that keeps me very active. I take meetings. It's a very interesting time to be doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I think now more than ever
go
is a
ahead,
good
Sean.
time for Zen to kind of like reemerge and make a comeback in the more
Right, yeah.
mainstream. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The nostalgia factor's there, you know.
Perfect for it.